Hey, yeah. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. Hex, crypto, big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit. Shout to day 43, yo, that's the OG. Hex, crypto, big payday, you gon' see. Yo, it's November 19, that's the day they predict. Every time I spit, I bring the craziest shit. Yeah. Okay.
Man, thank goodness.
Harder to justify what the hell we're doing here, man.
He's phony, she's fake. That's the type of people I hate.
Yo, y'all know the lyrics. Come on, sing with me. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural Charles Bon Voyage. Yeah, from the home of the dog.
Man, it's unwrecked. Thank goodness.
What is going on, Hexicans? It's the Hex Late Show, and I'm 43OG. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Before we do anything else, let me... Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Pulse is so close. So close. I was listening to one of the Twitter spaces, and I think it was Tangent actually who was saying this. He was saying something along the lines of it feels like we're getting like it's like edging or something along those lines, where we're being brought like almost to climax, and then it comes back, it gets brought back a bit, and then almost to climax, and that's what I think's going on. I think we're on the 13th or the 14th pulse right now. That's where I think we're at.
Accurate.
Tangent, what's going on?
I did say that in a Twitter space. I did use that term to describe what is going on with PulseChain, and I agree with you, man, that we are so close. It has become a meme. It has become a cliche, but there's stuff going on now that is very the GitLab, the domains, like all the shit. I'm so pumped, man. I think this week.
When you get to the 14th pulse, no, actually.
Are we trying to like do an accurate analogy? Is this the deal?
No, I'm actually thinking before you even have the first pulse. Which would be more accurate.
I did think that as soon as you were talking about the number of pulses, because those pulses are post.
Yeah, that's like
all of those pulses happen.
That's the So that could be like the market over the next 18 months after Pulse launches, just like all that stuff happening.
So it would either be, so you'd be talking about things like blue balls and pre-com if you were doing it like in terms of the edging.
No. I'm actually thinking more right to the point where it's like, when you don't know.
Yeah, I guess
blue
balls
that
is a
point
delayed
where
effect.
you're just like, I don't know. All right, so and when you're married, all right, this is the deal. Let me break it down. Some of you people who aren't, like the people who aren't married, right? Like, put it this way. I don't know what the fuck a condom is. All right. And how we got onto this tangent, I don't know, but I don't know. I am
married. I'm married to the game.
So my point is that you get right to that edge, right? And then that you don't know if you can control it or not. And then there's a trick, and I'm going to let all the dads know, all the married men know, because they're in the, when you're like, obviously I'm at the point where I don't need any more children, right? I don't need any more children. So for me, it's a game of ninja. I got to be a ninja with that shit. I ain't wearing a condom. I'm not getting any snips, right? That's not happening. That's not happening in my life, keeping everything legit. But you get right to the edge, and there's like a little thing you can do that can bring you back, right? And I'm gonna tell you this secret right now. I'm gonna tell you this secret. By the way, I'm just reading some of the chat. Some people in the US are just waking up to this, which is actually quite appropriate, given that, like,
morning wood.
Dude, exactly. So this is actually quite.
Might want to use it.
When you get to that point, try this next time. All right. Put your tongue, like suck your tongue up to the top of your mouth. Right.
Like pressure against the palate.
How you can suck it up and go.
Suction. Yeah.
Don't make the clicking sound. That might, your partner might be like, what the fuck are you doing right now? No. So you suck it up to the top of your, and that that can distract you from, like, and it can bring you back a couple of steps. All right. So that's a little bit of advice from 43 cents over here.
You're a regular Richard Hart, bro, with the with the tips. Can I just warn everyone, especially for the younger audience, is that you can actually get someone pregnant with pre-cum if you have actually came within about 24 hours previously. The swimmers can be sitting in the pipes and they can get dragged out with the pre-cum. So technically,
dude, not even pre-cum.
Just
mate, you could have beat off.
Just motion.
You could have beat off earlier in the day. And
correct.
And then, gone for it, and not even got to the point of pre-cum, and just put it in for like a couple of minutes, and then you hear the kids running down the hallway. So you're like, I got to stop this shit. Evacuate.
I think as long as you didn't come, because pre-cum doesn't actually have sperm in it, but it can drag out sperm from a previous ejaculation.
Oh, right.
So
I'm saying you don't even need the pre-cum. I'm saying saying there's some shit hanging out, like, on the tip, man, ready to fucking...
Yeah, that's probably true as well. Yeah. It could be like anywhere along the pipeline, bro. We need some engineers to come in here. Can I tell you a related joke, actually? Have I told you this one before, where it's like all the different professionals are arguing over what profession God is? Have I told you this? I'll do a hyper quick version of it, right? So
it sounds like a Jewish joke. It sounds like a Jewish joke. They've got like the best, like, God religious jokes of all time. But anyway,
maybe I'm not sure where it originated from, but you've got a priest, a doctor, a builder, an engineer, anyway, like these various professions, right? And they're all arguing over that their profession would be the profession if God had a profession. And the priest is like, it's obvious that he would be a priest. It's like, it's so direct, like the analogy is so direct, like how could it not be? And the doctor says, oh no, like, you know, the construction of the human body and like all like understanding all that stuff. He would clearly be a doctor because he was able to create something as complex as a human and understand it or whatever. And then the builder's like, you know, he built the world, whatever, like choose your analogy for each different profession. And there's various other ones. And then the engineer is like, like the civil engineer is like, yo, guys, shut the fuck up. It's clear that he was a civil engineer because who else would run a waste pipeline through a recreational area? So I've always really liked that joke.
Absolutely.
Because I was a civil engineer.
I got a joke for you as well. That reminded me of a joke. There's like a bishop, a mufti, and a rabbi, right? And they're all like discussing what God would want. No, they're all discussing what God would want with the donations that are given at their sermons or whatever you call it. So they're all discussing, and the Christian guy's like, okay, we'll draw a circle, we'll get the money, we'll throw it up in the air, right? Whatever lands inside the circle, like we keep for ourselves, and whatever lands outside the circle, we, you know, use it with the, you know, we donate to the works of God, like what God would want. And the mufti goes, no, that's no good. We'll throw the money up in the air. Whatever lands outside the circle, we'll keep for ourselves, and whatever lands inside the circle, we'll, you know, use it for God's purposes. The rabbi goes, no, guys, this is what we do. We throw the money up in the air. Whatever money God wants, he keeps, and the rest that falls on the ground, we keep for ourselves.
Dude, I started laughing as soon as you said mufti because that just sounds racist. Like
I don't even know if it's mufti. Is it mufti?
The sound of it just sounds racist. I don't even know that religion, but whatever it is, it sounds racist, and I love it.
I sound like an idiot now. What's a mufti? Oh, no, mufti is like a professional jurist who interprets Muslim law. Okay.
It's not a racially charged term. It's like
I don't think so.
Correct.
Yeah, I think
I'm gonna start calling people fucking muftis. I'm gonna be like, you're a fucking mufti. I love it. It sounds.
No, anytime anyone starts telling you about Islamic law, you should call them a mufti because they're interpreting Islamic law.
No, they'll probably be the only people I can't call that because.
Do you know what's like? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I don't think that's racist, that joke. I think it's funny. I think, and by the way, if there's any Jewish people listening, like a Jewish person told me that joke. So there you go.
Oh no, that joke's not racist. That joke's not racist.
No.
Wait. Can I just?
Can I just say you could switch in like Sicilian instead of the Jew? Let me just say that, like, it could be races, and you could just like have a Sicilian as the one who throws the money up and says whatever comes down is for us.
Anyone that has anyone that believes in God, like any group that typically believes in God, you could just replace those ones. But bro, very important. Breaking news.
Twitter.
The pulseramp.com website is down, and someone who manages websites as their career says that the most likely reason why that is occurring is
updating our PCs.
For it to be uploading the live version for the mainnet. Legit.
Bro, do you know how epic it would be if PulseChain went live on stream as we're streaming right now?
I was just about to say, if that happens, I'm out. Like I'm literally on the computer behind me. I'm like exiting the stream if that happens. Sorry.
Are you going to give me like 5 minutes? Are we going to like? Are we just going to?
No. You'll see this.
I'm out.
You'll see this screen on this side will just be like boop, like out. By the way, I was deliberately not doxing who it was, but he said it's okay for me to say who it is. it was trade mode James, like at trade mode James, which is James. His handle's James on Chain. Sorry, not handle. His Twitter name is James on Chain.
Yep.
So yeah,
I've got
man.
some
Like
breaking
looks
news,
like it could literally happen while we're on stream, and if it does happen, I'm out. Sorry, guys, but there's shit that I need to get done.
What? Okay. What if Richard Hart starts streaming while we're on stream?
Bro, that's a fucking good question. Do you know what? I would probably still exit this stream, go on my computer behind me, and have him playing on my phone while I'm starting to do shit in case he says something that impacts what I'm doing. But I would just do both, which is quite hard for me because I'm a bit of an autist. Like, as in, I focus so heavily on a single task, it's very difficult for me to actually do something like that, where it's like a form of multitasking, because I go deep, like my mind like really locks into what I'm doing. And but I would try to have him running and then just re-listen to the stream later.
There are some things that have like there's layers of complexity in what you're doing that you just can't be listening to someone talking. It's
I'd be probably pausing at times. Yeah. I sometimes do that. I'll have like an Ivan on Tech video playing in the background, and I'll be working away, and then sometimes I'm like, no, I actually need silence for what I'm about to do. You're absolutely right.
Yep.
And then I would like to turn it back on.
I would actually love it for it to go live while we're on stream,
so
and
that
then
we can see reactions.
At least, because that would be like live, and then we all know where we were, because like
that actually would be fucking cool. That would be actually really cool. But I would also be pretty dirty at Richard, because it would be like he almost deliberately tried to fuck us up.
Well, but is it going to fuck you? I mean, really, how? I don't know, man. I think that, like, do you really think getting him first is going to get you like the riches that you think they're going to get you? Like, do you really think it's going to make any difference?
Yeah. There's some shit. Maybe. Yeah, there's some shit that I want to do like immediately. Like, there's some shit. There's some shit that's relatively time sensitive. Yeah.
That's fair enough. Like stable coins.
I don't have any stable coins. I got rid of all of them. But similar idea, like in that same idea of like certain things.
Go and capitalize on whatever ERC20s still have a good before that. Yeah. That's reasonable. That's a fair thing to want to do. I think everyone should do that.
So you know why I was a bit late, or why I said I might be late? I was actually fixing Bitcoin miners that stopped working. And I just, at the time, they weren't making that much money. So I just fucked it off and didn't ever actually go and fix them. And then I forgot that I even had shit that wasn't working until today. I was thinking about these really high Bitcoin fees. By the way, the mempool.space is actually on the computer behind me. And I did that to remind me to talk about this. I saw that like people are paying like thousands of sats per transaction, per byte.
It's up to thousands per byte.
So I'm not saying the minimum fee. The minimum fee is still kind of like, it varies. It fluctuates between like 2 and 550 sats per byte.
Yeah.
But that's the minimum fee that's getting into the block. Everyone else in the block is higher. So some people are paying like over 1,000, like sometimes over 2,000, sometimes over 3,000. And so the miners at the moment, the Bitcoin miners, are absolutely printing money. So I realized that I was like, holy shit, I need to get those miners back online. So I went and fixed it, and I thought, with a time restriction, Murphy's Law is going to be that you're not going to get it working in time. But right when it was like 20 minutes before this stream, I finally got this. I reflashed this OS and like got it working, and it came up. And that's when I messaged you, and I was like, dude, I might be like 5-10 minutes late, because I was like, fuck yes, I fixed it, and I got it working. So they're actually mining away right now, getting those sweet fees. So at least I'm not as pissed off about the but I'm pissed, man. I'm pissed off that people are spamming the blockchain with this nonsense, and making it so that people who genuinely want to trade, like want to move Bitcoin around and shit, are getting screwed.
Bro, I think, don't you think like a blockchain, like is it malicious? Do you think is it being spammed maliciously?
No. I don't think it is. I think it's people wanting to get rich, and they think that if they mint these NFTs, they don't care how much they spend on Satoshis for the gas, like for the network fees, because they think that they will be able to flip those NFTs or like the tokens, like the whatever, for. But the weird thing about the tokens now that they've built, they're actually not, even the ones that are supposed to be fungible, right? So there are tokens on there now. They're actually not fungible. So they've got non-fungible blocks of tokens that are supposed to represent overall a fungible token back. So it's actually fucked because it's not designed for this. So it's completely broken. Like what the shit that people are doing on there is dumb. Like as in it doesn't work like how an Ethereum, like how an EVM chain actually works. So it's like they've managed to kind of like put this thing together that sort of represents it a little bit. It's like it's close enough to it that people are able to trade on a DEX, and I even use that term like lightly. And it's just in my opinion, it's a waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of fees. It's just dumb. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, look, these blockchains are going to get stress tested, whether it's by, I mean,
yeah, fair.
It's either going to be white hats or black hats, right? So, you would say that whoever's doing this, they're not really white hats. They're more like just grey hats. They're more like they're more like just, oh, look, we can do this.
Well,
so
I genuinely believe that the people in this chain of events, so the Bitcoin devs that implemented Taproot, which was where the shit got introduced to allow this to happen, the guy that invented ordinals, and the guy that then extended it to use that shit to build this like pseudo tokens. I don't believe that anyone along that chain was trying to do it maliciously to congest the network. And I even don't believe that the people who are utilizing those technologies to now flood the shit are doing it. They just want to get rich. So it was like a series of events of people who I believe didn't have malicious intentions. And I don't know that for sure. I can't prove that, but I believe it, that it wasn't malicious, that no one in that chain, because there's four parties involved, and I don't believe anyone in there was malicious.
So PulseChain, from what I've read, and maybe, tell me if I'm wrong, but from what I've read, PulseChain is going to be able to do 5 million transactions a day.
Yeah, it was like 4.2 million or some shit, like, and maybe up to 5 million theoretical, like a theoretical maximum, which is huge. We're going to need it because I'm going to be on there like a boss. I'm going to be on there doing shit. I'm going to be doing shit. I'm going to be making noise. I'm going to be doing transactions. You're going to have the same,
like, I mean, that is going to that can happen on PulseChain as well. Hang on.
You're saying eventually the fees can get. Sammy, it's been so long.
I didn't see it. I mean, how long have you been there?
Oh, wow, but I was getting shit organized and I was listening to what you're talking about. And, I was listening to you having a conversation about dick, balls, pre-cum, pregnancy, PulseChain, Bitcoin. So what's going on? We talk about
all the important stuff.
And all that sort of shit. What's going on? Hey, everyone.
I'm just excited about PulseChain launch mainly and pissed about the Bitcoin blockchain, but we're good. We're going to mainly talk about PulseChain. Hashtag PulseChain fixes this.
Yeah, I had a dream that it launched, but woke up and I had it launched. It's close. I'm telling you, I have prophetic dreams. It's close. But as I said to you, Tangent, it could happen any day, but I'm still not getting my hopes up.
Within that analogy that we had before, that would be a wet dream.
Yeah,
right?
It was pretty good.
Like,
that's the second dream I've had about it too.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
I can imagine.
I've got something to play that's got nothing to do with crypto, but it's got to do with like the pandemic stuff. So, and then it's a politician. So, you know, I love all that shit. Let me play it.
We went far too far during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
No?
Almost further than any other Western country in terms of expenditures.
I promise you, we will look back on 2020, 2021 in 10 years' time, 20 years' time, and we'll say, wow, we really closed the workplaces. In some states, curfews. You weren't allowed out of your home after 9 o'clock. We didn't have curfews in the Second World War, by the way. The curfews. We had situations where if you walked around the block on your own, you had to have a mask on your own. There's no way you can infect somebody if you're walking around the block on your own, by the way, right? You look back on it and you say, I mean, how did we put up with that infringement of individual liberty? John, I'll say to you, I think.
Dude, finally, like a politician, like that's a big time politician, ex-politician in Australia. That's like the ex-treasurer of Australia for many, many, many years. Like someone who was around for a long time. Finally, for fuck's sake, finally a politician who comes out and actually calls what a lot of us have been, bitching about for like 3 years now. Finally. We were saying this 3 years ago. We were saying this shit, man. And finally, it took him 3 years to say some shit, man. 3 years. Where was he 3 years ago, man? He should have been saying that back then.
In Sydney, they had police on the beach arresting people who were out on paddle boards by themselves without a mask and surfing without a mask. It was insanity. By the way, can I just flex quickly? Someone contacted me by DM, literally, it was yesterday, I think, and said they went through all the hexagons searching their handle and keywords to do with this particular topic. And they had me as like in the top 3 of like, in terms of like, they basically went back through the main hexagons, like the OGs and shit, and looked at their track record throughout the entire thing with searching those words that I don't want to say. And he was like, I only found like 3 people who had like a flawless record where like right from the start, we're just like saying like, this is nonsense. Like, and it was me and 2 other guys. So.
I absolutely agree with what he was saying, right? But I think now we have to move on. We have to move forward. I know in Victoria, life's getting back to normal. People are back in the office. I know the kids are back at school. And you know what? It's hard to forgive and forget, but we have to move on with our lives and try and
we have to learn. No, we have to learn from that, though. I agree. We have to move on. But we also have to learn that when they try and pull this shit again, which they will try and pull some shit that's similar. It may not be related to that, but they will try and pull some shit in future, whenever it is, whether it's 1 year from now or 25 years from now, they will try and pull some similar shit. And when they do, let's remember and let's cite this shit that happened and hold them to account so that that's the only way that you can get better outcomes. If you can hold up and show them like this is where you guys fucked up. Like you really did fuck up, there's no accountability, by the way. There's no accountability out there for all of this. But anyway, that's my little bitch about that. I want to show you guys something that I thought was hang on, where is it? There it is.
I might actually try and find a meme that's like pretty on point about that.
Breaking news in Australia: prized buffalo semen destroyed accidentally after administration error.
And that's the kind of news we get here in Australia. Nothing else is exciting.
The Bulls are in for a good time. So they're going to have to make it up. I was reading this article and they have to now they're going to have to go and jerk off loads of bulls and just to build up the stocks again. I'm telling you,
That's okay.
2023. This is bullish, man. This is bullish for 2023.
Wait, 43. Can I? I'm just going to send you a Twitter link. Do you want to just? It's a JPEG meme, so it'll only take a second to show. It's related to what you're talking about, and I agree, Sammy, that like I never wanted to do any like outlandish I told you so shit about this, and I've been like relatively silent both in real life and online to not be like I was right, I didn't do that shit. However, this meme highlights something that really bothered me, that made me want to actually sort of like bring it up and raise awareness. Is basically it's saying it's government then and now, right?
Then,
2021 versus 2023, and it's like basically do this or you're going to lose your job. We're going to force it on you.
I'll just read it. Like, it's 20 because there are people who are just listening and not watching.
I'm kind of trying to like diode it so we don't get the channel banned. You know what I mean? This is still YouTube is still very like censorship on this topic.
I don't think they're going to ban us for reading this. I think we can say, I'm going to say it. Fuck it. Right. If you're listening, I'm going to say it. 2021. Governments then and now, 2021. Take the shot or we will fire you, starve you, take your children, put you in camps and leave you to die without medical treatment. 2023. Nobody forced you to take the shot.
Like with the forced in like inverted commas, like no one forced you to do it. Like fuck off. There was coercion involved. And so like there was definitely coercion. If you're being threatened with a loss of your job, that is coercion. We've been through this before, so I don't want to get ranty, but I thought that was a perfect way of highlighting this bipolar nature of how they were acting then and how they're acting now. And I love the fact they're using Gollum from Lord of the Rings, how he goes through those bipolar episodes where he's like a fucking psycho, and then the next minute he's like all like friendly and he's like, oh, like, you know, can we be friends sort of shit? And it's just like, well, no, like you said, if they're not going to actually take accountability for it, like if they took accountability for it, then I wouldn't go hard. But the fact that they're trying to like be like, oh no, what we did was fine, we didn't do anything wrong. It's like, no, dude, you actually did heaps of shit that was fucking wrong. So yeah.
Yeah, anyway. I did. There's a list of shit that we could go on all day about, but I mean, you just have to take a look at our economy. Look at America's economy. Look at the banks fail. Look at everything. We stopped production for over a year. The whole world's going to financial chaos, and that
shut the world down. Yep. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I thought running my business when they were closing everything down and they were closing all retail. Like I couldn't distribute to retailers and stuff because they were all closed. And when they were doing that, I'm like, this is absurd. This is absurd. Yeah, it's not like there was a lot of fear. But anyway, let's talk
PulseChain. Let's talk PulseChain, because if PulseChain launches while this stream is on, then the stream ends for me. So let's get into it. Sammy actually disagrees. Sammy, do you want to pitch your, like, you know how like Sammy doesn't think it's necessarily going to launch soon. And I actually created a tweet where I said, I want you to give me your best reasoning as to why you think it won't launch like imminently. And there were some pretty good responses to that tweet.
Okay, tangent. So yeah, I saw that tweet, and my first what I want to say is, look, I hope it launches now. I'm ready. I've been ready for months. I've got my game plan. Everything's on. However, we've been waiting 2 years, and I'm just one of the people that wants it like everyone else. And I'm in groups that are saying, this stuff's all finished. We are like so close, so close. Everyone's saying the same thing. But for me, I'm like, well, it's been 2 years. I still would say, I'm expecting June, July. I know
the game you're playing, Sammy.
Bad.
I know I know the game you're playing. It's this thing that we all do, that when we want something really, really badly, we're like, we don't want to let ourselves get attached to the idea of it. Like, we don't want to tell ourselves, oh, it's going to happen in a couple of days or a week, because then we'll be disappointed when we have that belief. So we tell ourselves, oh, look, it's going to happen in a couple of months. And you might be right.
Yeah.
It might happen in a couple of months. It might.
That's
It might.
exactly
But I
it.
really think,
Agree.
I just the tweets that I've been seeing from like that dev and also Richard have been pushing me to think this thing is about to, like, I think the fork is going to happen soon. So if you haven't got what you want to, if you want to get a copy of some ERC20s or something, now's the time to do it. Now's the time to go and get those ERC20s for the fork. Because I don't think, like, it can't be any clearer than this. Oh, you're muted, dude. It can't be any clearer than this, that it's like, it's on the way, whether it's 2 hours, 2 days, or 2 months. It's very imminent, absolutely imminent.
It's close. Yeah.
Richard was tweeting like someone who has finished, like, you know, when you are working on something and then you finish it so you can go and you're like catching up on all like your personal admin and your social shit, hanging out with friends because you finished your job. The way he was tweeting like every 15 minutes or less seriously seemed like the shit was done and he was like able to finally do tweet storms and reply to people and shit like that. He even replied to one of my tweets, which is very rare. Like, it wasn't one of my tweets. It was like a reply that I had put on one of his tweets. So he tweeted, I replied, then he replied to me. And that's very rare. So, I just think there's so many things pointing towards it. This thing that James just said about the Pulse Ramp website going down. KDP in a Twitter space today mentioned that this thing about domain, I didn't quite understand what she meant, but it was like something to do with like domains renewing or refreshing or something. She's saying that technically it doesn't have to be done, but they've done it every time that it's been just before a testnet launch. The domains have been like cycled or like refreshed, or like, I can't remember the term that she used, which is, so that's normally happened within 48 hours of testnet launches. The GitHub updates, the GitLab updates, that typically happens within 48 hours of thing. It's like, I would be really surprised if it doesn't launch this week, like around the middle of this week, if not sometime tonight. And that's not the full list, by the way. That's not a comprehensive list of all the things that people have noticed that would indicate the launch being imminent. The SAC balances being all like updated and reconfirmed and shit like that. That was on there as well on the GitLab. That's another one that typically happens before the testnets have launched. It's like, yeah, I'm fairly sure, like, as in, I'd be pretty surprised if it doesn't.
Do you reckon, given that there's no bridge at the start, as far as we know, what do you guys, if you wanted to get your hands on Pulse, if you're watching this, right, and you use Ethereum, you know what you're doing, you can get around the Ethereum blockchain, and Pulse is coming out, you want to get you some hands on some Pulse. What do you guys reckon the best way or the quickest way for these people to get their hands on Pulse would be, given that the sacrifice phases are over, and there's and you don't want to play any funny escrow games or whatever. You just want to like get your hands on it, like verifiably on the blockchain. How would you go about doing that? What would you do?
We actually discussed this in a Twitter space recently, and the short version is there's only really two ways. This was my comments on the Twitter space. People might disagree with me. I know Famous disagreed with me heavily. Basically, there's two ways, right? You either buy something that you think where the forked copy will have value, i.e. HEX would be the most likely one because of the community overlap. So you buy HEX, and then when the fork happens, you get the copy on PulseChain and sell that into PLS. or you hold something over on the ETH chain that you want to hold. It could be stable coins, it could be ETH or whatever that you want to hold in, and wait for the bridge. The risks are that with the first way, with the HEX one, you've got the risk of price volatility, both before and after the launch, like before on the ETH chain and after on the PulseChain. But with the other one, you've got the risk of a delay, that in the time that it takes for the bridge to become active, Pulse could go like 100x. So it's two different risks, and maybe you could just do a bit of both, but they were the only two way for people who haven't sacked. I think they're the only two realistic ways that I can think of. It's either buy HEX and wait, or wait for the bridge and bridge in your shit. Like, can you guys think of anything else, or any other risks that I haven't identified with those?
I think any token in the HEX ecosystem, like anything has been built on top of HEX, and they don't all have like good liquidity pools, so that might not even be an option for some of them. Like, I think I was looking at one of them, which is, I think, one of the Maximus tokens, and I think it only had like $13,000 worth of liquidity. So that's clearly not an option for anyone. You know, that particular token wouldn't be an option for anyone really, because you're just going to push the price against yourself getting into it. But I tend to agree with you. HEX is I mean, if you haven't gotten in, then HEX or Hedron or you know, some of these you know, if it's a token that, or Maxi, or if it's a token that's on top of HEX, then I think that's going to be well supported on the Pulse network.
That's just a modification of that's just a modification of version A. Like that's
But and by an ERC 20.
That strategy, it's the same. It's just you're choosing something that's not HEX. Like to do the same. It's the same strategy with.
So, you know, before the bridge opens, so you can ratio trade. So Rich is going to set it so you can ratio trade into Pulse and PulseX. Yes. I can imagine that HEX will be the only thing that you'll be able to use in that period of time.
That's correct.
And that's how Rich is going to pump the shit out of the HEX price, which is really good.
But just remember that some people are going to buy HEX to get Pulse. So if you're buying HEX now to get Pulse, that means that some people are going to sell HEX on the Pulse side.
Into Pulse.
Yes,
Pulse. So that might happen as well if that's the only place. So you know, who knows? It's the thing is that no one knows, but I think that
no one knows.
Yeah, I think that getting HEX before the fork is good. I think getting any of those HEX ecosystem tokens, I think they're all like good plays before.
So just to be clear, I'm not trying to think of this from the perspective of a person who's trying to work out what everyone else is going to do so that they can like predict the future. This discussion is more for the people, like you said, who didn't get to sack, who want to know what the options are for getting into Pulse. Because I've been told that there are a shit ton of people with a shit ton of money who want to buy, but they're like, what's the best way? And in my opinion, there is no best way, because they all come with their unique risks. And those risks, like the one about the waiting for the bridge to open, if Pulse goes and does a 100x within the first few days, which is like, that's not unrealistic. You're basically
100x.
Right? You're going to miss the train from sack price. From starting price. But or from the dip, like from the initial dip.
The starting price is when the starting price is when the bridge opens. So it would only be a ratio.
Not in ratio though. Not in ratio.
So, but when the bridge opens, that's going to be the first price. When the bridge opens, when someone
but it can it can
still
go
move
up
in the time. It can
it
like
can
3 hours
move,
in.
It can still move the 100x.
Yeah.
Remember this zero value shit. It's all fake. Like it's like, as in, it's only technically zero. It's never zero. It's never zero relative to other shit. It's only technically zero for
because
tax.
zero, when we talk zero tangent and it launches, obviously after the ratio trading, the AMM bot goes in, fixes all the prices.
Even before the ratio trading, it has a value relative to everything else.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's never a time where anything on PulseChain is actually going to be able to be attained for zero in anything else. That will never exist. You will never be able to buy anything there for zero of anything else.
Is that because of the Satoshi tangent?
No, it's because the only way to acquire things over there is to swap it for something else. There is no this
ratio trading, mate. Ratio
zero
trading.
value star. This zero value star is only because there's no path that gets you back to $1 to dollars to
in terms of zero
currency.
value in terms of dollars. Zero value in terms of dollars.
It's zero value. It's actually technically no link to fiat currencies for you to be able to actually calculate it. So it's not actually zero. It's just uncalculatable. Notice the subtle difference. It's just an uncalculatable value.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because there's no path back to any fiat currency.
Can I just say it's such an irrelevant thing. Like it's not even relevant.
No,
it's
relevant.
It's not relevant whether
it's very relevant. It's extremely relevant for tax
zero.
purposes.
Yeah, for tax it's zero. It's all worth zero for tax purposes, right? All worth zero.
Yes, in fiat currencies. I would say technically it would be more accurate to say it is uncalculatable.
Yeah, either or either.
You don't know what it's worth. You don't know what it's worth in fiat currency.
You're just going to confuse the fuck out of your accountant. No, you just start talking like that to you. Your accountant needs you to fucking be clearly say it is this shit here. They're going to look at you with a blank face and go, bro.
Yeah. Look, yes. If you're talking to your accountant, you say that when it was airdropped, it had no value. It had no calculatable value. It had zero. You could say it had zero value or whatever, like however you want to do it. But so that you don't get ink. So otherwise airdrops that get airdropped to you that have a dollar value, it counts as income in most tax jurisdictions.
Okay. No. I get what you're saying, because if it actually had no value, then people would be like, well,
people would be able to,
I don't give a shit about this bag that's in this address. I don't give a fuck about it, right? At all.
Yeah.
But everyone does. Everyone totally does.
The testnet tokens are like zero value.
All that's going to do, right, that anticipation of it, like I believe it has value, that is going to make it have value when there is a connection to like fiat. Or whether it's Ethereum blockchain or there's an on ramp or whatever.
So in social consensus,
do we know? Hang on, I've got a question. Do we actually know for a fact that the bridge is the first connection, or is there going to be some like exchange?
It could be a centralized exchange. It could be either.
Can you imagine if there was the only way to get in to Pulse was like a big centralized exchange? That was it for before the ramp.
That's a good point.
Can you imagine that?
That's a third.
That's what Benny G was saying in the comments.
But you can't prepare for that because you don't know which exchange it's going to be. I mean, I guess you could have your ETH or whatever sitting on a centralized exchange or stables, and then the first exchange to say we're listing it, you send from that exchange to the other one, which is highly not advisable. You're not meant to ever go from exchange to exchange for like OPSEC reasons. But if you're a noob and you're just trying to get in and you don't care about doxing your shit, then you could just go from one exchange to another or out to a wallet, back in, and then buy the Pulse and send it to the chain. That's a good point. But that's similar risk to the ramp is that the delay between the start of the chain or public access to the chain and that existing, whether it's a ramp or whether it's a bridge or a centralized exchange, that time delay is the risk that you're going to miss gains. Same risk.
Because I mean,
So,
you would just be buying the Pulse. You'd be buying the Pulse directly with dollars on that, or from
Oh
another
yeah,
crypto,
sorry. You
like
could you could actually wire fiat
just
into
be buying
that
Pulse
exchange.
on their exchange, and they'd have like a price on the exchange.
Keeping in mind though, that depending on what exchange it is, if it does KYC, it could be like another 2 days before they even activate your account. So, like, I think, man, like, although I imagine the first exchange to list Pulse is probably not going to be a KYC type exchange, if I had to guess. But yeah.
What was that one that was out? Like they had HEX not too long ago. Was it what was it, MEXC or Maxi or
I
MEXC?
think you're right. I think it
Remember
was.
that one?
I think it was. Yep.
They probably
do
they still have
reasonably large exchange?
Yeah. So I mean, couldn't they? And
That's also not a bad point.
They weren't even They weren't KYC. They weren't
Do you know what?
KYC that exchange.
That's not a bad point. That what you could do is you could go and look at the exchanges that list HEX, and you know that if an exchange lists HEX, then are going to be unlikely to gatekeep Pulse, because HEX is the one we expect to be more gatekept, right? So that could be a list of exchanges that you could go and make accounts at. You could pick several or all of them, make accounts on those exchanges, and expect that one of them is probably going to list Pulse.
MEXC, MEXC. From what I remember, someone telling me, I think it was Jexer actually, he was saying that it's a non-KYC exchange. I don't know if that's still the same.
Yep. I heard someone say that. I don't know if it's still the case, because remember, sometimes they flip it. But you're right. It's actually does the most volume for HEX of any non-DEX, like as in.
And this is a good point by Johnny Chaos. The problem with centralized exchanges is they take a large cut of the coins when you go to move them off. Yeah, I still think that like using the bridge is probably the least friction way of getting into Pulse if you haven't already got some ERC20s that are on that side. But I guess we're just exploring all the different options out there, all the different things that ways that you could get in.
Sorry,
you could find someone. Sorry, go on, man.
I need to correct something that I just said. I need to correct something that I just said. I had them ranked by the wrong metric, and it's actually not MEXC. It's BKEX that has the highest volume of all the centralized exchanges for HEX.
All right.
Cool.
But keep in mind, a lot of these volumes are bullshit wash trading shit. So
be wash trading. Yep. You just can't trust any data coming out of a centralized exchange. You just can't trust it. The only thing you can trust is the on-chain like ins and outs of withdrawals and deposits of HEX from that exchange address.
So anyway, Sammy, since we rarely have had you on streams because of your internet connections in the past and stuff like that, is there anything that you want to make up for lost time in terms of things you want to announce or things you want to discuss?
No, I'm just like you guys. Are you guys waking up every morning checking Richard Hart's Twitter? I don't have notifications on because any notification just annoys me. But the first thing I do every morning is just go and check and make sure there's nothing, happening. But now just been, doing ladies discourse, which has been a lot of fun. We've had a lot of new ladies come into HEX. Just been chilling with them a bit. And we had a Melbourne meetup a few months ago now, which was a little bit of fun. Had a few drinks, went out for dinner, and of course we saw Drunk Looney there. And also, we're thinking about having a big, as I said in the chat, big PulseChain party. It's about 3 months approximately after launch in Sydney. At the moment, we've got a few people, Dub and a few others in Sydney. We're all going to get together to create it. Everyone from Australia is invited, and we're also going to put it out to everyone else overseas in the US and Europe. It is only stands at a 3-day event. It'll probably be a Friday night dinner, a Saturday harbour cruise, and a Sunday brunch. But then if people are coming from far away, they can extend that for a few days. There's a great zoo in Sydney, some great beaches, the Harbour Bridge, other landmarks. If it might be worth coming over, bringing the family, and seeing a bit of Australia. So that is the plan. But like anything, we don't know dates. We want to try and give as much notice as we can so people can book flights and hotels. But we have got a lot of Hexicans who are interested in helping. And if you are interested in helping, yell out. You guys know I'm in the Aussie chat. And the more hands, the better. What is it? Many hands make light work. So, yeah, so that's going to be happening soon.
That's awesome.
What about you, Tangent? I've seen you in the Twitter spaces. I think I saw
we've done a couple.
You're going to do it till PulseChain launches. And I was thinking, oh my God, you're going to be here for a while.
I did have a disclaimer in there that if it got to the weekend and it didn't launch, I had social commitments that I couldn't get out of. It was only ever going to be from Tuesday to Friday, anything anyway. And then I think the space, I was having a nap and the space rugged. There's a problem where sometimes the app just it boots you out of the space, even if you've just left it and you're not doing anything. And then if you don't return to the room, even if you've got co-hosts, it just nukes the space. So sometimes when I'm asleep, it gets nuked, which is what happened.
You've been going hard. You've been going heavy into everything. I see your name pop up in groups I'm in, and it's really cool, Tangent. You're doing the graveyards, mate.
It's been good.
To Brenton Eslick in the chat, he said, what if some of us aren't on Twitter but want to come to the meetup? Yeah, no problems, because we're going to put it all over Telegram. Brenton, let me know if you're not on Telegram, because we're also going to put it in the Facebook groups as well. So we'll put it across all social media, so you should find out about it.
And we'll also talk about it on the Hex Late Show when we have something a bit more concrete.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun.
I've got a clip here from just this. Do you know who this guy is in Florida? This governor in Florida. You guys, do you know who I'm talking about? There's this governor in Florida that likes crypto, I think.
The Terminator? Oh, no, it's California, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's California.
California.
Let me just bring it up. Here we go. Can you hear this?
I think what the danger of the digital currency is that, one, they want to make that the sole currency. They want to get rid of crypto, which my view is if you want to invest in crypto, it's up to you. You can do it. I mean, you can make those decisions. But they don't like crypto because they can't control crypto. So they want to put everything in a central bank digital currency. And I guarantee you, if they're able to ever get away with that, they will impose ESG and social credit scores onto that. And that's going to be a huge reduction in freedom for people in this country. And so what we're going to say in Florida is they haven't done it yet. I don't think Congress would authorize it. But if the Fed or the Treasury tries to do it unilaterally in Florida, we'll have a prohibition against that. And I think that's ensuring your financial independence and making sure that we don't have a financial surveillance state where they know every transaction that you're making. I think that's fundamentally wrong. So we're recognizing the dangers with this agenda.
Can we please have a politician like talking some shit like that in Australia? Can we please have someone like that as a state premier in Australia instead of the rubbish that we have everywhere you look? Rubbish.
Maybe we can get who was the guy that was mad anti-vax the whole time? Craig Kelly. Was it Craig Kelly?
Yep.
He did amazing speeches on that shit, the whole way through. He's our best shot to get someone to be anti-CBDC. I might start
Yeah,
trying to do that. Try and get in contact with
We
them.
should, dude. We should get all Australian hexagons like maybe we should go at them and not spam.
I find with some of these smaller political parties, if you go to their YouTube channel, they've got F all followers and they get F all comments. So you can actually comment on their videos and someone's going to see it because it's like, it's not getting flooded with like thousands of comments. Otherwise you can just like, you can write letters like emails and shit. And I think by law, they have to read it. Isn't it like if you're a government person, you have to read your emails from the citizens or some shit like that? Like someone has to read it, like either them or their PA or whatever. Like someone has to read it. It can't just get
the office has to take it on board. Yeah. Yeah, I believe so.
Hell
yeah, it'd be cool. You know, America has some awesome peoples in Parliament, you know, and they're speakers. They got big personalities. That's what they lack here. Our politicians are very black and white, and they don't really think outside the box like the American politicians. More spunk, more personality.
Texas is incredible. Texas is so incredible.
Yeah. Did they just have a shooting the other day?
Yeah, they did.
I think so. It was like a mall shooting or something.
Yeah, at a shopping center.
Man, that shit is always. That's always such a downer.
It's terrible.
Hear about that shit.
Little kids got shot as young as 5 and stuff too. It's pretty freaking sad. Anyway, let's have a look at the HEX price, guys. Tangent, tell me some good news. Tell me where we can go on into a bull market.
Oh, we were in an uptrend. I'm not sure if it held. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, look, I was saying in a Twitter space. Oh, so the last 15-minute candle actually is going down, but so we're 5.9 cents. That's not too bad. I'm not too stressed. Remember, you may recall in a Twitter space, I said that I noted that for me personally, 5.5 cents is like where I've noticed that my attitude towards the price of HEX changes, where under 5.5 cents, I get like a bit WTF at the price. And so at least we're still above that. It looks like we've held an uptrend since 4.8 cents on the 2nd of May. So 1 week. So we've been in an uptrend for 1 week, like a little local.
Well, 4.8 cents was that a local low? That's a pretty good price to get in at.
Yes, that was a local low. So yeah, look, it doesn't look too bad. I have found this price action to be incredibly weird. Like I didn't think that this was very unexpected for me in terms of how close we are to Pulse launch, what the price is currently, and not just right now, but how the chart has behaved just is really odd. Like it's just, it wouldn't have been one of the scenarios that I would have predicted. Like even if you said like a month or two ago that I could pick like 10 different scenarios, this would not have been one of them. Am I like explaining that in the right way? That it's like, very.
But HEX has a way of going sideways, but then something happens, just goes boom. See you later. You know.
Look, we're still way better off than where we were like a few months back when we're bumping around the twos. Bumping around the twos. That was just like, oh shit,
dude, that was horrific.
Just rolling around the bottom of the fucking.
That was horrific,
dude. It was so
hard. It's crypto. But even Bitcoin's looking rather shitty.
How did we get through that, man?
I don't know.
That was hard. That was
What
hard to
have we
look at that.
hit? What have we hit this year? What's been the high? If we got down to 3 cents, we're in the 3 cent range a few months ago. What have we
Did we get
topped
to
out
about
at?
12 cents? We got to 12 cents, I think,
Oh, 13
at some
cents
stage.
maybe.
Yeah.
But even
That's a
Bitcoin,
massive
like,
pump because we were as low as 1.7 all the way to 12 and a half. Like, you know,
did we? I didn't know we went that low. But I'm
was it
surprised. I'm
was 12,
surprised at the
one and a half
market.
last year?
Could have been. Could have been. But yeah, even Bitcoin, I thought Bitcoin would have been rallying more, going up to that 30, 35 range by now, but it's sort of stuck on that 30 range, just going back down, hitting 27, coming back up, big sell-off.
Well, I think Bitcoin got slayed by this issue with the fees. Like, as in, because some people think that this is going to like kill Bitcoin, or that it's broken, or that it's unusable, and that it's only going to get worse as we go into the bull market. So people are selling because of that reason.
What, can you just explain to me, like Tangent, I want to know, doesn't the Lightning Network help this shit at all? Like, I mean,
only if people are using it. So like, so each user chooses whether they broadcast their transactions onto the main chain and compete in that fee market, or use the Lightning Network. And actually, thanks for reminding me, that is one positive out of the things that have come out of this that have been positive. Is one of them is that it's going to force Binance to use the Lightning Network. They're actually implementing the Lightning Network right now for withdrawals, because otherwise their business model is going to be broken. It has sort of silenced the haters a little bit when they said like that DeFi can't be done on top of Bitcoin. It's kind of shut them up a bit, even though in my opinion it's not really the same. And the other one is that it really is incentivizing more miners to come on to secure the network. And I think there might have been another positive in there as well, but which I can't remember. But and that obviously, even if I could remember that fourth one, that's not necessarily a comprehensive list. But yeah, forcing exchanges to use the Lightning Network is a good one.
Yeah, but there's obviously people getting in to crypto. I mean, we're looking at certain. Sorry, go.
No, you go, Sammy. I keep cutting you off. It's
no. If you were going to say, because I was just saying, like looking at the crypto market in general, like looking at certain meme coins, which I shan't mention, that are going crazy. Obviously, there's still a freaking huge market, and we're seeing things that other coins like have done in 12 months, where these new coins are done in 3 weeks. So, that just shows that's adoption. Crypto is being adopted, and things are looking, whether they're educated about what they're buying or not is another story, and whether they're pumps and dumps is another story. But there's definitely more people getting in. It's still it's a bull market for the meme coins, just not everything else.
I agree. And people getting FOMO and doing gem hunting and FOMOing into stuff is a good indicator. A friend of mine who basically has HEX and kind of like semi-exited when through the bear market, because he's got a real job like in computer security. So when crypto's shit, he just focuses on his real shit. And he contacted me to ask if I could. He was like, I'm at work and I can't get to my shit. Can you buy me a certain amount of this particular meme coin? And I was like, I kind of can't, because I'm all in on HEX, and I believe that this fork could happen at any moment, and I don't want to be holding this shitty meme coin that you want. If if PulseChain launches and HEX pumps on either or both chains, then I would kind of be expecting you to compensate me for those lost gains. And I kind of can't ask you to do that, but then I'm either you're going to get fucked or I'm going to get fucked. And so we didn't do it. But the fact that the point of the story is that
fair, man.
Yeah, like the point, and it was going to be like 3 or 4 hours for him to be able to do it himself. So it's like, I'm like, do you really think this thing is going to like pump in this sort of window of time? Like, you're panicking. But the point of the story is that the fact that he was he believed that he needed to get this meme coin in a time window that was shorter than when he finished work, which is like, that's FOMO buying, right? That's like the definition of FOMO, contacting your mates to buy coins for you.
I reckon that's unreal.
Absolutely.
He and I have both got very, like, we're both normally very strict about not having other people hold your coins and not holding other people's coins. So for him to break that rule and also request that I break that rule, he must have really been FOMOing this particular coin.
But people FOMO hard in these meme coins. Like, even when Shiba Inu was blowing up, I had people like ask me what it is, how do I get it? It's like all the normies want in. They see it on the mainstream media.
Normies love meme coins. They fucking love them.
It gets them in. Hey, if it gets them in, and then they come across to a better thing, then that's
bait
adoption.
And switch.
Adoption.
Bait and switch.
We need adoption.
Yo, it's
only
because
way crypto's going to keep going up.
The explanation is so simple. It's like, hey, it's just a picture of some shit. Oh, and by the way, the coin I was actually talking about in that story is probably not the one that you're thinking of. Like, it's not the one that everyone was buying recently. It's a different one, a new one that actually just came out very recently. And so, so the pitch to a normie, if you have to explain crypto, even something as simple as Bitcoin, you think Bitcoin's simple, right? We think of it as being very rudimentary. However, like, explaining how to buy it and what it's about, like, financial freedom and all that shit, like, it's already, normies are already zoning out. Their eyes are glazing the fuck over as soon as you mention anything that is about, like, freedom or like the way that banks operate and how you're getting, like, governments, banks, they're like, oh shit, is this a conspiracy theory? Like, they zone out. But if you, like, it's a picture of an X, like, it's a picture of this particular animal, and it's completely stupid, and the only reason you buy it is because you expect the price to go up. Normies get it, bro. They're like,
yeah,
wait, so I can get rich? Sick. How do I buy it? I go to that website and click buy. But easy. Like, I go, so because most of the meme coin websites, they've just got a buy button that just takes you to the DEX. So, like, it's the fucking pitch is so simple. Like, I think that's why normies love it, man.
Oh yeah, I totally get it. And but that's good for crypto. Like, I know it's rubbish, right? And it's funny rubbish, but look at the behavior of normies when they love these meme coins, and then they get interested in crypto, and then they do their research, and then they can see something like HEX where they can stake and earn trustless interest. And I think it's a good thing.
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree.
Oh, it's the best thing. It's not only a good thing; it's the best thing. It's funny.
My
like,
rant,
I always go back.
Didn't sound like I did, like that. I didn't think
it
was good. Like, I think it's good. Like, I think it's good for bait and switch.
Yeah. Bait and switch is great, but it's funny. Like, when I go back, like, I do this thing how, I think about HEX, like, intensely sometimes for, 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll just not think about it for like a couple of months, as far as I won't think about the mechanics of it. And then when I come back to it, and I've done this like maybe over the course of the last 3 to 4 years, I've done it maybe between 5 and 10 times. Like, I've gone, I've relearned, I've thought about stuff and rediscovered just in my mind what HEX is about, like, a number of times over the course of the last 3 or 4 years. And every time I think about it, I always come to the same conclusion that, like, this thing is just so well put together. The idea that you put money into something, right? And you have this representation, like, you have this token. And then if you're willing to lock that token for a period of time, you're going to get more of that token. And it's your time. And that's all based on the time, what you're willing to put in time-wise in advance. And there's no getting out. There's no, like, change your mind later without penalties. every time I think about it, I come back to the same. Like, this thing is fucking genius. It is such a good system. It is absolutely dope, man. It is the dopest. It's the dopest, and that's what, you know. I've been onboarding people quite a bit in the last, I'd say in the last 2 to like maybe 2 months. People who I've been working, like even people I've been working on. I got someone in who I've been working on for like a couple of years. And when I say working on, I've been trying to, it's just they weren't into the idea of crypto at all. So it's more like I've onboarded them into crypto. And it's such a good feeling to get someone in finally, and they feel good about it as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like getting adoption, you can get adoption through, you know, meme coins or whatever. But, you know, a lot of people need someone to hold their hand through the process of, like, what do I do here?
Absolutely.
For a lot of people, it just seems too hard. Like, you know,
it
get them
is.
to buy a hardware wallet.
Yeah, that's what I experience with my friends. I'm like, get in, I'll get you in, I'll get you in. They're like, oh, can you just do it for me and watch it? I'm like, no, bro, I'm not like a babysitter. But you know what else helps meme coins, helps crypto in general? Elon Musk, even if it's Doge, leaves his pumping crypto, and him changing the Twitter handle to a dog, the bird to the Doge dog. Like, that's a big thing. Like, when people see the richest man in the world getting into crypto and pumping crypto, it's really good. It attracts people.
Sammy, I'll give you another reason to not do crypto for other people if they're like, oh, can you just do it? Accounting nightmare. I tell everyone that asks me to do it, I'm like, even if I had time to do this for you, which I don't, I do not want the fucking headache of having, like, it's hard enough for me to keep my own shit straight with different chains and wallets and fucking everything. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to have it. And then, like, if you've got a self-managed super fund where you're doing it, like, so, and like a business entity, you might, like, I know some people that have their PulseChain stuff, because they expect that to become extremely valuable, have put that under a different legal structure. So, like, suddenly you've got, like, even just for your own shit is like a tree of shit. Imagine then being like, okay, now I'm doing it for this other person as well. Fuck that noise.
I know, right? But you know what? I think, I think people should embrace crypto. Like, I see some of my friends really struggling who I told to get into crypto like years ago, and that's not their fault. Like, they're people who live paycheck to paycheck. I totally get it. And, it's not even that. It's the fact that they won't use their spare time to research and learn. And if they can see you're in a better position, that should be incentive enough for them to want to do it. But yeah, I'm totally against babysitting anyone's crypto. Like, what's mine is mine. Okay, I admit to making a wallet,
I agree with all this stuff, man.
For a friend, and keeping a copy of her seed, because if she loses it, she loses her crypto. But that's the only thing. Like, that's only because we're like this. Like, I wouldn't do it for everybody. But yeah, as far as that goes, it's finance. They should be looking after their own. And
like,
I've also told,
or a really close friend, it's fine. Like,
I've also told every single person I've ever onboarded myself that if they ever need a hand with anything to do with like crypto, I'm a phone call away. And I've just said, like, that's an open thing. If it's something I can help you with, I will absolutely help you with it. And that, I guess, that gives people some level of reassurance as well, that when they
thumbs up, motherfucker. 2 thumbs up. Oh, before I forget, I'm wearing a special t-shirt. This says the people, the banks, and like the people. How the fuck? The people, the banks.
Did you make that, Tangent?
No. It looks like it's hand drawn. It's not. It's actually the t-shirt design.
My kid definitely does.
It definitely does look like it's sort of like being spray painted on or like written on, but no. It's not. It's not a Tangent original.
But did the person who made that t-shirt spray paint it on?
No. This is not a DIY. Like, it was an actual t-shirt. Like, I bet if you were to Google search t-shirt, the people, the banks, you'd probably find it and be able to buy it. Like this is just a t-shirt that you buy off the shelf. I'm going to check right now.
Hey,
It does look
Resolute
like
at
it's been.
It does look like a DIY job. It does. I think that's the point, right?
Yeah, it
it's
does.
meant to
I could
look.
do
It's
it.
meant.
I could
It's
do a
meant to
better
look like
job.
you graffitied it onto your own shit and it's like a grassroots kind of like like how you would spray paint an anarchy symbol onto a wall or some shit.
Resolute at
Oh yeah, we're
Coast
all
has
going to
written,
make it.
"We
Yeah, wag me,
make it.
wag me, wag me, wag me.
We are going to make it really easy to onboard your friends into HEX."
I want to hear about it.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. That's awesome, man.
Whoops. I skim read it and I thought it was like a wag me. It was like a wag me comment. We're all getting girlfriends, by the way. Oh, it was really funny on Twitter. I said we're all going to make it. We're all getting girlfriends as a joke, and someone replied, I really hope my wife gets a girlfriend. I was like, that's hilarious shit.
I hope all the single people who want girlfriends in the Hex community, I hope they all get girlfriends.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. It doesn't actually have to be a girlfriend. It's like you're gonna get
could be a nice car.
You're gonna get what you want out of life, like the things that you thought were unattainable. And for anons, it's getting girlfriends. Like so. Yeah. So we should check if PulseChain is launched. By the way, Sammy, you know how you said in the morning you check Richard Hart's feed. I can't guarantee.
I've got a question here from the chat.
I personally believe that. Sorry, man. I personally believe that there are indicators that will actually show that mainnet is live before Richard tweets it. It happened with V4, and because there are ways that there are things you can monitor that showed that V4 was live before Richard tweeted that V4 was live. So while I agreed with you in sentiment, the first thing I check is not actually his Twitter. It's like the things like is pls.live, the website, the chainlist.org, the Telegram group, the GitLab, and then Richard's Twitter is basically the way I do it.
Yeah, do you really? Go for it, Greg.
I'm not sure that we are qualified to answer this question that says, hey, I have a question. Does anybody know the penalties for desyncing when running a validator for Pulse? I think when you say desyncing, like missing attestations, I believe it's the same. I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but this is what I believe to be true, that it's if you miss an attestation, you will penalize the cost of what you would have gained from that attestation. That's what I believe is correct. If that's not right, can someone please correct me on the record?
I think I did also hear that actually. So the people to ask would be someone who's run a validator on testnet and has actually tested, like deliberately making their shit misbehave, or when I imagine when Richard does the first stream after launch, he will clear this sort of shit up. This definitely falls under the category of we haven't officially been told by Richard or any of the devs how this shit works. That I'm aware of, by the way. Sorry. That I'm
anyone
aware
running
of.
a validator could tell us this, but just for
only if they've tested it though. Only if they've deliberately made the validator misbehave and checked what happens.
You don't even have to do it
or maybe read the documentation if there's documentation that explains it.
No, but you don't even have to do it deliberately. Sometimes your shit just misses something or it just goes offline. Like I know this just from other validators, that is what it is with, for example, some other stuff. You know, I won't go into detail. But
I should have said accidentally or deliberately had your validator misbehave. Yeah.
So, and it's just the cost of what you would have made gets deducted. So, you know, it's not super heavy. Like that's not a heavy cost.
In my opinion, it's not heavy enough. I think the penalties should be harsher. because actually I probably shouldn't make any comments about this until we actually get the official info. But in my opinion, if the penalty is only loss of profits and the penalties don't go into your actual capital, then you're not actually disincentivizing people to try and game the system, like, and try to attack the network, because
it's not loss of hang on a second. Like we need to just clarify what you mean by that. So let's say you've got 100 pulse, and then let's just say every attestation gets you a pulse, right? And now you've got 110 pulse because you've done 10 attestations over the course of a number of days, or whatever. Right?
We don't need to confuse people with fake numbers. It's just the amount that you stake, and then there's the shit.
Let me finish what I'm saying, because it will be more confusing if I don't get to finish this line of thought. So, if like your validator goes offline, right, and it was your turn to do an attestation and you miss it, you will get penalized. Like, instead of having 110, now you'll have 109 pulse. Like, and then if you're an 8, and then you miss another one, 107, and it will just keep going down until you're back online, and then you'll start accumulating again when you start hitting them. That's my understanding of how it works. So
but
it's.
Are you saying it can or can't go into the principal?
It can. It can eventually go into the principal.
Okay, that's how I want.
And then there's
that's how I want it.
But then it can eventually. Like, if you, like, for example, let's say you go online and you've got like 100 pulse, and then you start immediately go offline, then you're going to start eating into that principal.
Well,
that's my understanding of it. And there's also different grades of fucking up. To go offline is going offline is like a very low grade of fucking up. So the penalty is very low, right? But if you're, and this is my understanding once again, if you are actively trying to do some dishonest shit, you get penalized worse.
So the thing that I heard, which I hope is wrong, is that the penalties are only just you lose the income, and that it doesn't go into your actual stake, which I think would be a shit way of doing it.
No, it does go into your.
Okay, perfect. That's what I want. I want it that way.
Because you've got that. You've got that in your fee address, right? You've got a fee address. Yep. So once you get an attestation, that actually goes into your address, right? So you've actually got it.
Then, is that the same address as where the principal is held, the stake?
Yeah,
is that the same address?
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. That's how I want it. That's how I want it.
Yeah.
This is good news. This is good news for me. Like,
then,
I want it.
Yeah,
I want
so
it
then
that
it comes
way.
out of that address. That's yeah.
So yeah, as long as the penalties can go into the stake, so that you can actually lose the money that you put up front.
Yeah.
It definitely needs to be that way for the
once again, going offline is not. It's a low level thing. You don't want to like hurt people too bad for just going offline, because that is not. You're not active. You're not trying to fuck up the network if your shit just goes offline. You know what I mean? Like, you can go offline really easily, man.
Yeah,
it can be just nothing that you
I don't
can
care,
control.
dude. I don't care. I don't care the scale of any of the penalties. That I'm saying the only thing that matters to me is that their principal has to be at risk. There has to be a risk to the actual principal. Yeah,
I believe so, man. I believe so. And like I said, that just going offline is not a big thing. It's not considered to be a really big thing. But if you try and do some dishonest shit, like actively trying to like trick, nodes, or like, I don't even know the technicalities of it, but I know that there's higher level ways of trying to trick the network. And if you're trying to do that, then then you can really get slashed hard. Like, you can actually get fucked over.
Good. That's how it has to be. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise you're not like. Otherwise, you don't have protection against those attack vectors. So I'm glad that was wrong, because I did hear someone say that it's only a loss of income.
Oh yeah,
like
I remember this as well. Someone's just mentioned this. If you drop below 16 million pulse on your validator from just getting slashed, you get kicked off the network. You can't validate anymore.
Good as well.
So that's a rule. That's a rule. So obviously you can go below your 32.
Perfect.
For that to be a rule.
Perfect. Perfect. Or as Ivan on Tech would say, perfect. He does say it like that.
Oh man. When Richard Hart stream? When?
Oh dude.
He's
So
probably
keen.
busy.
Overdue. Overdue.
I have fan
Overdue,
fiction
bro.
theory. I have fan fiction theory.
Do
He
it.
wants to hear it.
Do it.
He wants to hear it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
How long haven't we seen Richard Hart for? It's been months, right?
6 months.
Maddie Allen's conference for the
it's been 3 months.
The HEX conference in Jan. So
Yeah.
it's been like
was it?
3-4 months.
No,
but
it's
if you
been 5
exclude
months.
that,
Fuck, it's been 5 months.
4-ish months,
Five.
maybe 4 to 5. Jan. It was in
January
Jan,
to
wasn't it?
May. Early Jan to May. It's 4 months, 5 months, dude. Oh, no, 4 months.
But,
Yeah,
but
4
we're
months.
right at the start of May, though. Yeah, you're counting May. We haven't actually gone
Right.
through May. So, like, it's 4-ish months, right? But if you exclude that appearance that he did for the HEX conference, it's more like fucking 10 or 11 months. It's like a really long time.
Okay, so here's my fan fiction theory. Whilst all this shit is happening, he's like been on that. You know how he had that like computer bike that he created, where he sits on the computer and just like rides the bike, and he's been pumping weights.
I forgot about that.
I think Richard Hart, right, when he streams, like this is my fan fiction theory. I think he's been working out like a motherfucker, pumping iron, doing those fucking deadlifts, eating tuna out of the fucking can. I think the dude is like ripped now, man. He's gonna look like that doll. You know that doll that like Hex Toys made? And like he's just like this fucking tank walking around.
Oh, I like it. So you're
I
saying
think he's gonna look like that.
So that people didn't see the incremental progress, and then you don't really notice he wants to go from like how he was, and then it's just like shock value that he's just going to be tanked out. Like
Yeah. And someone's just saying in the chat, like lifting his. Can you imagine like if he did like a flip like they do in WWE, how he turns into like a heel again? Like he turns into like he starts doing the outrage marketing. He starts like lifting his like Gucci bags like full of weights, just like. Ugh.
He's not doing backflips.
Can you imagine like the outrage? Can you imagine the outrage? And then Pulse is launched and there's outrage everywhere and he's just fucking tank. And he's just got bitches around him everywhere.
He would
I
know
reckon
that like
Richard's just busy as fuck. And the thing is, right, when PulseChain launches, everyone is going to want a piece of his pie. They're going to want to interview him. He's going to want to promote PulseChain. He's going to be flat stick. So I guess he's just working hard now, and he just wants to get this thing to market, I think, because there's that many whingers carrying on. So, but I hope he has been hitting the gym and looking after himself.
I
So-
agree.
I don't know why I find this comment funny.
I like the gym theory, but no backflips. He knows that's too high risk. You break your neck doing that shit.
So what about Coast? You know, someone said that they're going to make it onboarding easier for HEX. Did you guys know about Coast? I've only heard good things about it, to be honest. What are they doing for HEX?
I don't know.
They were doing some on-ramping stuff, which is always welcome. I mean, if people can easily on-ramp, that is awesome. Happy, and he mentioned that he'll come on sometime, but we're quite late for him. But you know, just stay up late, bro. Have a coffee. Stay up late.
Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, in the chat, please, if you're watching this and you've enjoyed the stream, why don't you click the like? Click the like. We appreciate it. We really do.
By the way, some people watch YouTube through a way that they can't. Like if you're watching it and you're not logged into a Google account. So I think that's why sometimes you do get like people watching it and not clicking like it's because they can't. Because otherwise,
and also
you'd be a bit of an asshole not to, right? It's like you're literally sitting there watching it. Like, why would you not? So, because I've just noticed, like, even on shit,
click the down like, or click the down. Like, if it's no good, click down. Like, anything is better than nothing, right?
The down like is also engagement.
Yeah. So whatever. Like, if it's no good, just down.
I used to down like anyone who asks for likes. If I was ever watching a YouTube thing and they asked for a like, I would click the down like.
Yeah, fucking down like us. Like, put the down thumbs down.
I don't do that anymore, by the way. I just in case people are freaking out. But yeah. Someone said that in that same Twitter space I was in today, someone said that Rags to Riches tells people to not like the video and not to subscribe. And actually, and I've noticed that
reverse psychology.
Diary of a CEO does the same thing. He says, I hope no one's watching this, but if you are, please keep it to yourself. Like, i.e., don't share it. Like, as if it's like a secret that's so good that you shouldn't. So you're like, oh shit, I'll tell my friends if it's so good. If it's such a secret, I'll tell my friends. And so, it's good. Reverse psychology.
Please don't share this on Twitter.
Richards did that, and it's hilarious because he used to say that he's like, he used to give this spiel like he barely even passed high school and not to listen to him and don't like the video. Just freaking amazing. He's an awesome dude. I met him in Vegas actually. Funny mofo he is.
Yeah, cool. Hell yes. Look, Crispy Man was on Furu Finance stream, and by coincidence, they happened to give me a shout out about my Shut the Fuck Up video on that stream. But the point of this story is that Crispy made a really good point that made me feel like a lot less of an asshole. Is, you know how like within the HEX community, there's like a lot of similar names. You'll have like Hex Squid and Squid Hex, and like people change the thing in front of their handle and shit like that. So sometimes I'm like, shit, I can't keep track of like, because there's so many people as well, right? There's so many people, and not just so many people, but so many people that are doing like really quality shit. So unless someone does some really distinctive thing that really sticks in your mind, like say with Matty Allen when he got the DeLorean and the fact that he hosts the HEX conferences and he was like the HEX psychologist, and also he's got like a unique look because he had like long hair at one point. I'm not sure if he's still got it. Someone like that might stick in your mind, but then like other people, especially if you haven't met them or they are anons that you don't actually see their face ever, they do that anonymous shit with like a PFP or whatever. It's really hard to remember who is who all the time. And so when Crispy Man made that comment, I'm like, oh, that's really good. I'm glad I'm not the only like asshole who doesn't like, because when people do like this amazing shit, it feels bad that you're like, oh, this person's done all this incredible shit, and then I didn't remember like who they were or their name or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. There's so many new people in the community, you know. It's hard to lose track. Like, I've been getting like heaps more followers, and you know, even on my tweets, like I just like tweet like very rarely, and I'm getting freaking like a zillion likes. Like, you know, it wasn't even that much of a tweet, but you know, it's great that the community is growing. But you can't remember everyone, and even when you go to meetups, like it's that sort of uncomfortable feeling where you don't know people's name, but you're calling them like, you know, Hex Renegade or whatever their names are. It's like, you know, you just can't remember everybody. There's too many people. And I think we're only going to grow now. Well, once PulseChain launches and the movie comes out, it's only going to even get bigger and bigger. So, but yeah, you're right. Those people that stand out, they're either your mates or they've done something amazing.
Yep. Yeah. Like people that you've streamed with and got to know, or like, or something distinctive that really sticks in your mind, sort of thing. Yeah. So, Sammy, we should do you know how your segment, like we've been dropping the ball on all the segments here, but since you're here, do you have someone in mind for Hexagon of the Week?
Oh shit, you caught me out, bro.
No,
I've been
it's fine.
busy.
It's fine. why don't you have a think about it, or even scroll Twitter while we're chatting, and something might jump out at you. Otherwise, we can chime in and help you think of someone.
But but we could, get that
I've
going.
got someone.
Look.
43.
Nice, we've got someone. Or we could do it monthly, even a hexagon of the month.
No, I think people are doing so much incredible shit. I think we need to do it every week.
All right, let's do it.
So much going on.
Let's do it.
So
43.
This is when this is hexagon of the week, but it's sort of like a Pulse person. I don't know. I don't even know who it is. It's just an account.
That's cool,
right? It's and you guys would have seen this. There was someone who has a YouTube account that Richard Hart tweeted during the week. It was like maybe a couple of days ago, and he made this PulseChain video, this cartoon explanation of what PulseChain was. Did you guys see that?
I saw a bit of it.
Yes, Richard retweeted it.
Yeah, Richard retweeted it. I think that guy, girl, whoever it is, I think that person deserves because that was quality.
Person or team of people. We've got to do that Satoshi shit where it's like,
what was
guy,
the name
girl,
of
group, alien entity, AI? Like you don't know, bro. It could have been an AI that did it.
Do you want me to find it?
And the whole that whole Terminator thing, that you've seen the Terminator movie, it could all kick off just for you not giving the correct level of recognition to the AI that created that video.
Yeah, that AI stuff.
I don't want to. I found it.
Yeah,
I found it.
crazy.
Okay.
You found it?
There we go. Yeah, I found it. Hang on. All right. I'm going to play a little bit of it. Hey, what do you reckon?
Yeah, cool.
What do you think, Tangent?
Yeah, is there because it's quite long? Is there a spot that you're?
Yeah. I'll just play the start of it. And unless you want me to shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
No. You can absolutely play it. I just thought the whole thing might be a bit much. Yeah.
Let me get it. There we go.
Get it. Yeah, get it. Oh, Richard has retweeted a couple of things recently as well.
PulseChain is a new blockchain created by forking the Ethereum blockchain and changing some of its code, making it faster and cheaper to transact on. It will be the largest free airdrop in history, as every token on the Ethereum blockchain is being copied over as well. These tokens will be waiting in your wallet for you to switch networks. By the time you're watching this video, they might already be there.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it there for a second. We are not going to watch this whole thing. It's 11 minutes long. However,
it's 11.
You guys, this channel is called Crypto Hexplained. What is PulseChain ? This is an excellent. You should be sending this to anyone that you want to onboard into Pulse. You should be sending them this. It explains everything. It really does.
Richard Hart, the founder of PulseChain, is rumored to be a self-made billionaire who aims to be the king of crypto. In 2019, he created a decentralized application called HEX, where you can hard lock HEX tokens in order to earn yield. It was a blasting success as the price went up 10,000-fold in less than 2 years. It's been running on the Ethereum blockchain flawlessly for over 3 years, and due to its immutable code, it will be for many more years to come. Though, it must be said that Ethereum has been far from ideal for HEX and many other dApps to be utilized. Welcome to Crypto Hexplained, the easiest way to educate yourself on a ride around the blockchain.
Okay.
Self-made billionaire, soon to be deca-billionaire, at least. Or if he's deca-billionaire, I'm just saying order of magnitude. He's going to go an order of magnitude wealth level up. If he's a billionaire, deca-billionaire. If he's a deca-billionaire, 100 billionaire. If he's a 100 billionaire, trillionaire, motherfucker. World first.
I saw that.
World first.
Love it.
I saw that
Pay
billionaire.
attention,
That's the first thing I
Anons.
saw as well. Billionaire spelt without the E. I didn't want to be a downer. It's the first thing I thought when I saw that clip was like, I'm going to write in the comments you spelt billionaire wrong.
Is it maybe spelled different in the US? It might.
I don't know.
It might be. You know, sometimes they do that shit where they like try to make it spelt how it sounds. Like they took the U out of color and made it COLOR. And airplane is not aeroplane. Like it's not AERO. It's like AIR. Like air. It's actually airplane, spelled airplane rather than aeroplane.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they just went like billionaire doesn't sound like it has an E on the end of it, so fuck it off.
No, tangent. No, that was a spelling error. We all know that, but thank you. Thank you. It was a cute video though.
It's an awesome video.
It's good. It's
awesome.
really good.
It's really good. Awesome.
Those whiteboard videos are actually really good. They're really engaging. I find there is a whiteboard video channel for crypto, like for explaining crypto. And I have even watched the ones that I know everything about. So like there's one about like hardware wallets or something. And like there's no content in there that I didn't already know. But I watch it because you watch it just to see like how they draw shit. And they always come up with shit like to draw that you don't expect. And you're like, that's actually really creative. So it's almost like art. It's like this art in motion, I guess.
Brisology. Color is spelled. Yeah, color is spelled with a U. It
is
English,
over here. We use
English.
the Queen's English. We use the Queen's English over here.
King's English. King's English.
Oh shit, you're
King's
right.
English,
Holy
bro.
fuck. Oh, wait, dude, you just reminded me. There was a meme where it was like how Kraken users feel when they can withdraw their Bitcoin from the exchange, and it's a picture of the new king getting crowned and shit, holding those golden like jewel encrusted staffs, just like I'm rich.
Yeah, look, you guys used to spell it properly as well, but somewhere along the line, someone said, "Hey, we're fucking Americans. We'll do what we want."
They were like, "Fuck it, we don't need it." I kind of like it. Like, why have these?
It's a useless letter color.
Why?
U is a useless letter.
Weird rules about how shit is spelled. It makes it so hard for people that are learning the language when English is not their first language. It's got all these. We've got all these weird grammatical rules. It's not just spelling; it's grammar as well. We've got all these really weird that don't. No, European languages are not like that. They're not as ridiculous with the rules of how things work, where they just are in terms of the inconsistencies. English is a lot worse than European languages for them.
Latin, like in Latin languages, like there's feminine and masculine for the actual word. There's no rhyme or reason to that shit. There is no fucking rhyme or reason to that. There is no rhyme or reason to that.
That is
fucking
true.
does my head in, dude.
But they're getting rid of it because of woke culture. Did you not hear about that shit?
That shit does not work. There's no woke culture, bro. Woke culture is not happening in Latin societies.
Bro, look it up. Look it up, bro. Look it up. They are getting rid of the masculine, feminine, like shit for like in terms of the like how we have the car and they've got like la or le like as the French example. Like, they're getting rid of that shit because of wokes. Because it's like, no, you can't.
They can't get rid of that shit, dude. That's how the language works.
They're making a word that can replace it and be genderless. Like, legit, dude. Look it up. Google that shit. They're doing it. The wokes are doing it.
Okay, but
or they're demanding it. I'm not sure if they're actually doing it, but they're demanding.
I don't think they're doing it, man. I don't.
Dude, look it up. European.
I'm sure someone's doing it in their fucking mind and on the internet.
It's definitely something that is being like accused of being like not appropriate by the wokes, is what I'm saying. Like how far along it is, and you know that it's only a matter of time, right? Once someone people are searching so hard for something to virtue signal over, they want to be the first person to come up with something. So everyone who wants to virtue signal is out there actively looking for shit that they can go, that's racist. That's racist. We need to stop that. We need to end that shit. Oh, that's sexist. We need to get rid of that shit. They want to be the first. So
I don't see that same I don't know. Maybe it just when I was in Europe, I just don't see that same shit that we see here. Here it feels like that is, although I don't see it in my everyday life.
Maybe, yeah.
Like when
but
I'm
you just,
just
dude,
in my everyday life, I don't see this
yes,
this skewed thing. It's only
yes,
something I see on the internet.
yes. But dude, it's because
Like,
you don't
in
hang
reality.
around with it's because you don't hang out with fuckwits here or in Europe. Like, so the people that you surround yourself with are not fucked in
I'm
the head.
glad.
So that's probably why you've got like a impression of like that it's actually not that bad, but it's true. Like, as in, this shit is real.
I think it's a very vocal minority. I believe that shit.
Yeah,
I believe all this stuff is just very vocal minority.
That is very possible, but that vocal minority gets shit done, bro. Like, which same could be said about HEX, right? When you look at on the global population, we're a vocal minority and we get shit done. So
please don't compare the HEX community to the trans community, bro.
I'm with Mud Dog. Mentally ill.
I don't even accuse it of being people who are trans. I don't think it's the trans community. It's the wokes.
By the way, if you're trans, I don't give a fuck. Good on you. Like, what do I care?
Yeah, it's not that. It's that most of these people that cry about this shit, they're not even in these communities. They are external to those communities. It's the male feminists and the white Black Lives Matter crew that are like the most vocal, because they're probably racist and they're trying to compensate and overcompensate for what's going on in their head. Like, that's my theory, is like when you get the really extreme like male feminists and the really anti-racist whites, they're the male feminists are the worst. These motherfuckers, these motherfuckers are actually the ones that are racist and sexist. Because in my mind, I actually don't, like, I don't go looking for racism because I'm actually not racist. Like, in my mind, humans are
and
equal,
you're not mental
in the ways that matter. So yeah, I'm like, I'm very suspicious when you get those real extreme wokes. So anyway, so PulseChain, has it launched yet?
There's so many of them. There's so many of them. We could talk all day. It's freaking disgusting. But anyway, yeah, PulseChain. Yeah, it's not far away.
Can we look at some sort of chart or something? Can we look at something?
We can't, because PulseChain hasn't launched yet. There's no chart, bro.
Can we look at the website?
Actually, yeah. Or no, you just look at Deck Screener on like a blank thing and just imagine that it's there, just like mooning like fuck, like manifesting.
Can we look
the fuck out of it?
On Deck Screener? Do they have PulseChain on Deck Screener?
Dude, do you know what I wish someone had done? I wish someone had done a chart that I wish someone had created a chart that had what the Pulse price would be based on if someone sacked today. So you know how and maybe only include days where at least one person has sent something to the sacrifice address. So you don't get a change on the days, so you just have empty candles on days when no one sacrifices, and then it would basically be like 5% a day, isn't it? Because of that bonding curve shit. So it just like the chart would just be like fucking truly exponential. It'd be the greatest parabola you've ever seen.
But you know what we could do? We could have a bitch tits, right? About the first day of HEX, so of PulseChain, the first daily candle close price.
Incredible idea. Incredible idea.
We could even have a bitch tits about when it's going to launch, like who's going to be on the money.
Let's do it right now.
That second one you said is what I was actually where I thought you were going at first.
We're such a
that's enough.
Let's do it.
That's enough. We're doing this right now. We're doing it right now.
Trigger.
I love that intro.
This is the new bitch tits of the week, right? And I don't know how many weeks it's going to go for. It's going to go for as long as it takes for Pulse to launch. Right? Is that have we even defined what this is? I just played.
Yeah. It's got to go. It's just got to go. Yes, dude. That's fine, because remember how last time we didn't want to let people submit guesses that were too close, because you get an unfair advantage of seeing all the price action right up, and like you can't have someone guessing like an hour before the show, right? That's why we had the cutoff. With this one, there's no chart to look at. We're just as in the dark today as we are tomorrow as to what it's going to be, and you're just as in the dark about when it's going to launch as well. So we can let people submit their guesses at literally any time between now and launch.
All right.
I think Pulse is going to be 43 cents one day.
And in some ways, you know how, like, you remember that token wait, how it was like, even just minting it means because you don't know when it's going to launch. There's a bit of game theory here that someone's might be like, well, I'm going to wait to submit my when it launched guess, because every day that goes past, you know that that's a day that it didn't launch, and people might be getting wiped out of the competition as the days go by. But if you don't put your guess in, when it launches, it closes, right? We're not accepting guesses after the launch. So there's the similar game theory as that wait token, that you don't know when you need to do it, but you need to do it at some point. And if you don't do it, you get fucking nothing. So I really like this idea, Sammy. This is fucking sick. So but, someone might take a double. There's a chance that someone might do what Dozer used to do and get like fucking twin fucking wins. Sorry, Sammy, what were you about to say about wait?
Dozer must be a really good degenerate gambler, a master of the game. I know some people like that. They should be in crypto because they're the winners. So what I was going to say is that wait token has got ridiculous gas fees. If anyone else has claimed, I claimed ages ago because I'm lazy and I thought I'm going to forget it before PulseChain launch. And I paid more, I think, in gas fees numerous times. So you got to pay to connect, pay to authorize, pay to sign, and then you get it, and then you're like, oh shit, $30, thanks for coming. But apparently there's something going on with that wait token as well.
I think mine was very similar, where it was like small gains or small losses in terms of how much you spend on gas compared to how much you get. Like,
imagine that now.
Now it'd be fucked. Yeah, now it'd be fucked.
So, bitch tits, I reckon we do the first day. What do you reckon the first daily candle high or daily close? What do you think?
This is after the or after
it's got to go. I think close is better than high/low, because on that first day the volatility could be insane. So close, like closing prices, probably at least gives it a little bit of. I mean, in fact, we don't even know what time of the day it's going to launch, which means the first daily close could actually be soon after the launch. But people estimate that it's going to launch on Wednesday night.
Okay.
There's like a theory. There's a theory that like V3 and V4 both launched on Wednesday nights. I think that was UK time, but anyway. So, but yeah, I think daily close is fine.
Or what about the first price? The first price of like when it hits the charts.
No. That initial candle is always completely fucked. Like, I don't even know if it's. I don't even really know if it's real, because it's like how quickly these DEX monitoring sites can take the data. I think those first candles are always completely fucked. So I think close. I think you nailed it first time.
Really close. All right. So do you got to make a spreadsheet for that next week?
Jexa needs to make the forms. In fact, it could be in. He can just make it in one form.
Yeah.
We're like little ants. We're working together.
We're like giving Jexa stuff to do when he's not even here.
Oh no, but it's easy if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, Jexa was just.
Wait. So by the way, we're not accepting guesses in the chat. We can't be fucked with that shit. You guys need to put it into the form, so it's all automated. Thanks for starting to guess and shit. We know you guys are fucking excited about PulseChain launch, but you're going to need to resubmit those guesses into the form that doesn't exist yet. This is a bit like we're doing an SEC right now. We're doing what the SEC
Maybe
does.
it
We're
does
saying,
exist.
come in, register your shit, and then when you go to register, the form doesn't even fucking exist. So we'll call this the SEC bitch tits. Now the form doesn't have an ability to submit anything but the. Oh wait, maybe we could use the form that currently exists and on. Maybe it would be like you put where you normally put your name. You put
that form doesn't exist. I'm just like trying to get to it.
And also, no good. We need it to be a separate field for the guesses so that it automates.
There are
it for
two
Jexo.
fields. There's name.
Yeah, but
and then the fields don't care what you put in there.
I was just about to suggest that, but it doesn't work because if we say put your name and your time guess in that field, then it won't be automated for Jexo to get the he'll have to manually go through and read them and put that into a table. Whereas if we have it as a form where it's actually got different fields for everything, it'll just make a spreadsheet for him where it's like name, guess in different columns. So we'll need to put the way that the Jexo will work it out, whether it's like a date field. Yeah, a date field and a price field. Yep.
We need to make a new form.
What if PulseChain hasn't launched? So what if PulseChain hasn't launched by next Tuesday night? Should we do like a bet on when it's going to launch, time and date, or?
I think this one competition can just continue right through till the actual launch. I don't think we need to do this weekly, because you know what I mean.
Mm.
But I'm pretty confident that we're going to be launched by then.
Yeah, I know you are.
I'm so.
And a lot of other people are too. A lot of people are too. Like smart dudes that I know are convinced, like fully putting updates from the devs into the chat.
Like this is actually different. Like as in, you know, like this time is different meme. This is actually different because the other times when people are like, oh, it's about to launch, it was just based on fucking nothing, pretty much. There was one time where actually I made a mistake where the GitLab updated all the clients, all 4 of them. And I thought that was the signal for launch. And unfortunately, they were just updating. That was the update that changed how much no, I can't remember what that update was. But anyway, it wasn't mainnet launch.
Hey, this comment.
Oh, someone made the
43 cents is only a 614x. Is that right? That can't be right.
Say again.
Can't be right. 43 cents is only a 600, but based on what's your starting number? Because isn't this
sack price?
Is 3 zeros and a 1, right? Isn't that the average sack price?
Yeah.
3 zeros and a 1. So that would be 4,300x. That would be 4,300x at 43 cents. So that, I mean, that's, hey, what is Ethereum done? What is Bitcoin done? What has HEX done? That's all in the realm of possibility in 1 to 3 years.
Oh,
I would say.
Wait, 10,000x from sack price is $1. That could be deliberate, so that when we get the 10,000x, the unit cost is nice and like uniform, roughly. It's like you're in that range, which it makes sense, where you're thinking in parity, like one pulse, $1, and then it should stay maybe around that range for a bit or something. Hopefully, maybe at least within one order of magnitude. So like a single pulse would be somewhere between in the tens of cents or single digit cents through to tens of dollars would be the range that it would be in after it's done the 10,000x.
I want to see HEX at $1. I want to see HEX at $1 before we entertain any more PulseChain.
I want to see both HEXs at $1.
You know how? Yeah, absolutely. And I want to see a chart that charts both of them together. It gives me the total.
It's gonna be
what we're talking
crazy.
about
How
last
many
week.
charts we got?
I think that's very.
EHEX, PHEX, PulseX, incentive token, 5 horses in the game, guys.
Too many chart, and then you've got all the derivative ones as well, and all the, which I throw in the mix as well because they're all related. It's all related.
What? I know the answer to this question, but what coin do you guys think that and you've got to include the fact that there's 2 hexes. What coin do you think the majority of hex OGs will support the hardest out of all of those coins? And by the way, I know the answer and I know I'm right. It's kind of a trick. It's kind of a trick question. I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. The answer is not actually one of those coins. It's a generic formula that actually is. It's a variable answer.
T-share on either chain, whichever's cheapest.
43.
I don't know, dude. I don't spend that much time thinking about.
The answer is biggest bag. Biggest bag.
Biggest bag.
Biggest bag is the answer. That will be the telltale sign. If you see, and not just hex OGs, but if you see anyone is like hardcore supporting one of these coins more than the others, that means that their biggest bag is that coin. And I will say that I reckon that would be like over 95% accurate. There might be rare exceptions to that rule, but that'll be very accurate.
Someone's going to make biggest
biggest bag coin. No, that ticker's fucked. I don't even like tickers that are longer than 3. Oh wait, you could call it BBC. You could be BBC, biggest bag coin.
I'm sure that's already been done, dude. I'm 100%
sure. Actually, you know what? That token ticker already exists, and it's being used by Hexy Bastard in the PPX ecosystem. They're making a DEX, and the token is Big Black Cock. It's big bonus coin. Big bonus coin is like the official thing, but it's BBC.
Awesome. He's so funny, that Hexy Bastard.
So we can also call it biggest bag coin if people start shilling it of the actual BBC. If people start shilling BBC.
Have you guys played around with any of these? Played around with any of these new these new systems that you can, get together with other people and trustlessly do hex stakes together?
The pooling, pool party, and
steakhouse. Yeah, steakhouse and pool party. I haven't, but that's because I'm on fucking strike. I didn't use testnet v4 at all because I was like, fuck this. I want mainnet. I've tested enough on these other fucking testing fucking things. So I went on strike, but I'm glad that other people continued to test.
Well, I haven't tested it out, but I was chatting to Ty, Magic Carpet Ride, and he was telling me all about it. He's doing the steakhouse. He's involved with that steakhouse. I've seen a bit of a video about it, a few updates, and it's just basically, I don't know if you've seen much about it, but it's the concept of actually just pooling together and getting more incentive out of hex stakes. I don't know when it's launching or what's happening with it because I'm not involved in it. But I think I've got a video here that Ty made. Do you want me to post it in the chat to see if anyone else is interested? You might want to check it out.
So is it that you just get together trustlessly and do a bigger stake together and you get some of the bonuses?
Dude, it's exactly like Maxi, but anyone can choose the parameters, including how long the period is where people can contribute, like that funding round length, the length of the stake as well. Like, so all think of all the parameters that you can fuck with are completely variable, and even the ticker. So I could make like tangent coin, like instead of maxi, it would say tangent, and then I could set my parameters that I think is awesome for the shit, and maybe even whether it reoccurs. I don't know if that's a parameter you can fuck with, but all the variables. So for anyone who ever thought, oh, Maxi should have done this, Maxi should have done that, like, oh, the Deci, like those things, I would have done it differently. Now you can go ahead and do it and find out that you're a fucking anon and you don't know fuck all, and that your shit is not actually that popular as you think it is. So it's going to be interesting. Like,
yep.
I mean, I think
people
the problem
might
is,
just do, you don't even have to like get together with other people to do it.
You don't.
You could just
like
you could just
you don't. No, you don't. You can solo because it's trustless as well. So you can just but you have to advertise it, like as in you need people to know that it's happening. You know what I mean? Like as in you can do it solo, but you need others to participate. Otherwise, it's just you. And if it's just you, then you might as well just make us an HSI or a native stake.
Yeah, right.
Although theoretically,
no. This is like, I'm just thinking about it from a different perspective. Like, what if there are some accounts that you have?
Actually,
right?
I'm wrong. Go ahead.
And you don't want other people to necessarily know. You don't want other people to necessarily know that those accounts are owned by the same people. But you want to get the benefit of staking.
Dude, genius.
Together.
You're a fucking genius. You're a fucking genius. And yo, beyond that,
man.
So within that same within that same idea is, once that pool exists, which is kind of like your own, it becomes almost like your own mixer, because you can like wait. No, sorry, it doesn't work like a mixer, because it's all you're sending is the economic energy, not the actual. Wait, does it?
No, because
I'd have to think about this a bit more.
Each address would get it back at the end. Each address would get their own shit back at the end, right?
Yeah.
But what it does is it means that if you, let's say you have 2 or 3 different accounts that you don't want publicly, or maybe you've got 20 accounts or whatever that you don't want publicly to be seen as owned by the same person.
Also, you know how I just said,
like just on the chain.
Yeah. You know how I just said, oh, if you did one of these pools and then you ended up being the only participant in it, then then it's the same, or it's similar to an HSI. It's not, because with an HSI, it's an all or nothing thing when you sell it. But with this, it tokenizes your entire stake into as many fucking tokens as you want. Like, sorry, not as many tokens. It's 1-to-1. It's 1-to-1 with your HEX. So however much HEX you put in that stake, this is under the assumption that you're just doing it solo, or you accidentally end up doing it solo. For every HEX, you have a tangent token, and then you can sell those tokens. Oh, dude, you could also have like, so say I did this one where it's like a tangent pool, where it's tangent token. I could have an influencer token that's actually backed by staked HEX. So that when I have like tangent token, and it's like, it's got its own market, but instead of it being a fucking worthless fucking meme coin that literally is money printed out of thin air like every other fucking founder, it's actually backed by a pool from one of these protocols. So you've actually got staked HEX, you've actually got T-shares backing your token. That's actually pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. I believe that is the future
cool.
of crypto. That's not just the future of crypto. That's the future of decentralized finance, is actually having whatever shit you're doing backed by, whether it might be Bitcoin, right? But, or backed, in my opinion, HEX is like the perfect way to do it. Like,
yeah,
you know how there's
kind
like
of had
there's
this idea
protocols
with
out there that actually hold, which one was it? Is it Maker? They hold Bitcoin, they hold Ethereum, they hold like all sorts of different shit, right? And that's just an example of, like, in the future, I think that more things can be backed by like these protocols like HEX, specifically HEX, actually, not like HEX, HEX, fucking, they should be backed by HEX, because I think just the T-share is just so powerful, man. It's such a powerful thing. And the fact that it's able to be tokenized in this way now opens it up for so much in decentralized finance. You know, can you imagine if you can go like start a business or do something because you've got backing from, you know, you've got T-share backing?
Yeah. I was going to say,
there's so much that can come out of it.
This idea is not technically new. You know, Engine Coin, the project, had this idea that they would create these in-game NFTs, so it's like a sword or whatever the fuck, but you embed it with the fungible engine token, so that it's like the NFT, when you buy it, it actually has coins embedded in it, so that it's not just a worthless fucking NFT, or rather than the value just being its demand as an in-game item, it also can be, you can destroy the item and get the engine coin back out. So this idea of kind of like embedding tokens within tokens, but this time it's all fungible, right? Like, as in, instead of it being an NFT, these are fungible tokens that are backed by a really high quality other fungible token. So yeah. I saw the reason I was laughing when you started talking was because there was a comment by Brizology that said tangent going on a tangent about Tangent Coin. The crazy thing is that if I went and did this, there will be haters that will be like, you fucking promised that you would never do your own coin because that's scammy as fuck, and now you're doing your own fucking coin. And it would be impossible to explain to people that you're like, no, this is not a scam, because this is actually backed, because their anon fucking pea brain wouldn't be able to comprehend the two different things, like the subtle difference. So maybe I wouldn't do it, but it's a pretty cool idea.
The reason I was bringing up that idea before about, like, you know, because there are probably some OGs that, like, if they pull, like, maybe there's a few OGs who can like pull together and get close to that 150 mil hex, and that's where the 100, you know, that 150 million hex stake is where you get, instead of getting a 3x your T-shares, you're getting a 3.1x your T-shares, and you might go, well, it's only 3.1. Who gives a fuck, right? Well, that makes a difference. That is the difference in the contract, that you can take that difference and you can, you know, you can do something with it. But, you know, obviously you're gonna have to stake for 10 years to get that, you know, to make it.
Chances are, like with PulseChain, if it goes crazy and there's a lot of hexagons involved, we could have something like a Millionaires Hex Club that do a rolling pooled stake, which is going to make fantastic interest. It'll be a lot of fun as well. I mean, I suppose you wouldn't expose yourself, you know, of who you are. But
hey guys,
you could stay anonymous.
Can I just? We actually have to wind it up because the other guys are coming on the Discourse Syndicate channel in about 2 to 3 minutes. So
holy shit! This chat has been so enjoyable that we didn't even realize how long we were going for. Holy shit!
Sammy, last words.
All right. Thanks for having me, guys. Good to see you. Good to see everyone in chat. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you soon. Can't wait for PulseChain. Hope it's tomorrow, but it's coming.
Tangent.
It has been amazing having Sammy here. We missed you, Sammy. It's been such a long time. We've had a stream with you, and so glad that you got your internet fixed up so that it was like flawless operation. And so I think that was my favorite part of the stream, was having Sammy back on. And I'm incredibly excited about PulseChain. I genuinely think it's coming really soon. Remember that this is a fork, despite what happened with the testnet. If you are not currently holding HEX, you do not get a copy. It is a fork, not a snapshot. That's something that I think is really important for people to realize. People think it's a snapshot, so they're like, oh, I can dump my Ethereum side HEX now because it's like it's all locked in, ready to go. You will end up with nothing and you will regret it. So I think that's the main message I want to send out. And
get your get your tokens off the
Oh,
exchanges
true as well. Wait,
into
true as
your
well.
own addresses. Get them
True
off
as well.
exchanges. I want to thank you both for coming on. Thank you so much. I always enjoy these. To thank everyone in the chat. You guys are awesome. I love your comments. It's just a never-ending stream of comments, and I appreciate it very much. And with that, peace and love. We will see you next week.